Hi, I'm Heather Boyd with Killer IP here for another episode of IP Somm. My guest today is Rudy Gaines, and he's from Durham, North Carolina. Is that right?
That's where I am now, yes.
Okay, good. Rudy just started his own company called the Rudy Gaines
Creative business growth.
Creative Business Growth.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about this new venture, Rudy.
Sure.
Actually, can you tell us a little bit about your history and your new venture?
Sure, I'm happy to, Heather. Thank you. And great to be on here. And I know we'll get into this part of it later as you do. Cheers. No, I've been in the legal industry for about a dozen years now. I was with a company called Marksman that did IP investigation work for many years. And what that did was put me in touch with a lot of people within the IP industry, C-suite folks, general counsel, but also a lot of attorneys and law firms across the country. And then I was hired by a major American law firm to come in and help them do business development. And so I worked within this firm, Walla Bond Dickinson, great firm, love them, for about 4 years. And then while I was in the firm, I did a lot of teaching. Basically, I taught a year-long program each year for partners within the firm who wanted to become equity partners.
Okay.
And so I'd spend a year working with those attorneys, so in the end that they would become equity partners. And that was a great course to teach and to evolve over time and change to make it work better. And then I decided it was time for me to maybe do this on my own. And so now I've started working with either single attorneys, one-on-one, like we're doing now, which is a great way to do it, or groups of attorneys, practice groups. And even what I love to do is just work with entire firms as well on help building out a business development program if they don't have one. So sky's the limit at this point.
It sounds amazing. Now, I mean, obviously we're during COVID right now. So getting started during this period of time, did you find any obstacles that you were running into? Or is it the perfect time to start something that is more virtual for you?
Well, the jury's still out.
How long has it been, first and foremost?
About a month.
Okay.
Which is great. But the great thing is that I've already got a handful of clients, and to a client, there are people who are saying, this isn't going to last. And right now is a good time for me to say, all right, how's my business development process? How do I do it better so that when everything starts to take off again, you're out front, as opposed to, okay, now things are starting and now I'm going to continue to do what I've always done. No, I want to make it better.
All right. So are all your clients in Durham, or are they all over the place?
No, they're spread out. They're all over the U.S. and a couple of international folks as well.
Business can go global then, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's not restricted to the U.S.?
Well, if you think about business development, it's a very human thing.
Right.
I understand you're an attorney. I understand your particular.
Oh, I'm not a lawyer.
Right. I was thinking the universal you.
Yes. But yeah.
Right. But I understand that I understand maybe the kind of practice in which you work. But business development is a very human thing.
Right.
It's about building really great relationships, which sounds easy, right? You do that in your life, hopefully, some good, some not. But in the business world, it suddenly becomes this awkward mechanical thing that a lot of attorneys feel like they don't quite know how to do. How do I build a deeper relationship? And there are a lot of reasons why that's difficult, but attorneys aren't really taught that. They're not taught to do business development, right? You come out of law school, and then you become an associate in a firm, and then 7 or 8 years later, they go, okay, congratulations, you're a partner. Now go, bring in business. And you don't have a clue. Nobody trained you. Nobody taught you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you start emailing people, and it's a weird process. So my thing is to help people go, okay, there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
And a way that you can feel comfortable doing it. And trying to help attorneys just get to that point.
So do you tailor your program to the individual or to the particular law agency or group that you're dealing with? Is that?
I do. everybody has their own process, right? Whether it's good or bad, you got a certain way that you reach out to clients or your referral network,
Or your
or even
company.
within a firm.
Yeah.
You know, who am I going to work with in the firm? You have your own process, and it may not be great, but that's how you feel comfortable, right?
Right.
So what I love to do is get an attorney to say, okay, well, explain to me how you do it. What's comfortable about it for you, and what's not comfortable, and let's find ways to accentuate the comfort level and grow that out, and find ways that you can really help grow your book of business that way. And the less comfortable stuff, let's either find a way around it, a workaround, or let's find a way to make that more comfortable for you, so it's not something where you feel like you're being a salesman suddenly, you know. And I didn't go to sales school, I went to law school.
How do you tap into that?
A lot of questions. Emotional intelligence is something I've always loved. Just really get on the inside of people and how they think and how they feel.
Okay.
You know, and if you can ask good questions, and people will give you answers that help you get to that. And that's the same thing I talked to about going into meetings. You know, you don't go to meetings going, hey, I'm this law firm, and I'm a lawyer, and I do this kind of stuff, and I've won so many cases. Go in and ask really good questions of the guy sitting across, or the woman sitting across the table from you. And they're going to reveal things to you that they need. And once they start saying, this is what I need, then you go, all right, well, how can I fill that need? And it becomes a back and forth conversation as opposed to a pitch.
That's awesome. So earlier you raised your glass. Tell me what you're drinking.
Oh, so this is tequila.
Woo!
It's called Espolon. There's people, and what are you drinking, Heather?
Oh, I have an Easy Amber beer from Perth Brewery, which is local to here, and it's gluten-free. That's why I can drink it. So
You're just drinking local.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I read on your LinkedIn page that you like to do dinners as kind of an icebreaker. Can you explain why that is?
Because once we can do dinners again, and I'm sure that's going to be happening, you know, within the next, hopefully, year. But a dinner is just like, if you think about it as hosting somebody at your house.
Yeah.
But you're at a restaurant, right? You're the host. You're making sure everything's good. You're making sure everything's right. You're making sure everybody who's sitting next to somebody that you introduce them. So you become the caretaker of the dinner.
Okay.
So, and then once you're the caretaker of the dinner and everybody's happy, then the conversations start independently of you. And I've always loved that about business dinners, because once if you've done your part well in the beginning, then the dinner is just going to unfold on its own. And it's a great place to get new clients, because what I always love to do is invite a really good client or two, and then 3 or 4 potential clients. And you don't have to talk about what you do or what your business does, because your clients, that's inevitable. That's the common ground, right? Inevitably, your client, they're going to go, well, so do you work with those guys? Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. They're great. Da, da, da. And, you know, if you're at a dinner and you're hearing your clients sort of pitching you, talking about what a great.
That's the best networking you can do, is
that's the
word
best,
of mouth, right? Yeah.
There it is right there. And that's why dinners to me are, because everybody's enjoying themselves, and there's some solid business development getting done without you.
Right.
You know, you're just the one who was nice enough to host it and bring it all together.
So during COVID, how are you replacing those dinners, doing the business development for yourself?
Right. So it's interesting time now, because you can't have those dinners. I mean, some people are everybody's ordering something, and you're all sitting down in your office with a meal, and and that can be done. Interesting. But to me, this is a really good time for you to sit back and sort of do more research on your clients, so you know more about their business, because you probably have a little more time on your hand. Whatever amount of reading you're doing and understanding their business, you probably have time to do more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great thing to do during this time. And also the interesting thing, the silver lining, I call it, of this time is like, I'm looking behind you and I'm seeing into your home. I'm seeing the shelves you have there. I'm seeing you got some red sort of interesting statuary up there. I don't know what are those
I
guys?
have the Marksman juggle balls up there.
Marksman Joke. Oh my God. Talk about a blast from the past. My point is this, that the thing about attorneys is most of the time they're attorneys.
Yeah.
You know, this is I put my suit on and I'm smart and I'm analytic and I'm gonna take care of you. But we don't get to see into attorney lives very much, right?
So you
But
see
now,
Superman and not Clark Kent.
pretty much, that's right. You see Superman. But now I get to go, wow, look at Heather. There's her place, and there's some interesting things on the wall, and I get more of a sense of who you are. And I think there are a lot of attorneys who are taking advantage of that and going, okay, you know, I got stuff behind me that you can see, and people can see that. And if attorneys are smart, they'll use that to go, all right, I'm going to open this up a little bit. And what that does is say, I'm going to let you know me a little more as a person. And I'm going to ask you some questions about what's going on behind you over there. And you're going to tell me. And then suddenly we're in a conversation that's not about the work. It's about us. It's about the two human beings that you and I are as we talk to each other.
Right.
And you come off of that Zoom call with your client and you deepen your relationship with them. And what that does is establish greater trust. You know,
and I think that's the way I've been managing my business development at the INTA conferences all along.
Yeah.
I mean, my opening line has always been, there are 14,000 of us here, all agents, doing the same thing. So let's get to know each other to see if we can work together rather than talk about the work, because we're all doing the same work. So.
Yeah, that's so great, Heather, because and it's so great you can do that because a lot of people just can't.
Yeah.
That's not words that will naturally come out of their mouth. So kudos to you for being able to say, hey,
well, I mean, it took me, I've been doing this for 20 years now. So I've been to, this would have been my 19th or 20th INTA this year. And then canceled. So how do you help foreign clients then do the same thing? I mean, obviously you're going to be doing these Zoom calls or whatnot, but is there not something like a cultural thing that you have to realize as well?
You do, and you really have to ask a lot of questions about that, you know, because culture is, you know, it's difficult if you're not understanding, you know, I'm saying, okay, here's the way we do it in America, and that you're talking to somebody who's in France and they're looking at you like, that would not work at all.
At all.
Yeah, and that's really just getting to people's understanding of, you know, what they have to deal with, you know, what the culture dictates, what's allowable and what's not.
Yeah.
So I've only got a couple of international clients, but that's something I have to be really, really careful about. And I am by no means an expert on that, and I'm still learning. But first, right out of the gate, it's like, okay, what can work in your culture? You know, how much can you step out and reach out to people and have that be acceptable? You know, so that's a really good question.
Do you speak any other languages other than
English?
English?
I don't. No, I don't. No.
Do you find that language can sometimes cause difficulty with business development and just understanding the messaging that they're trying to put out there?
You know what I found? The difficulty is if you don't acknowledge it. If they're talking to you and they're saying things that because of their language, the syntax isn't right, and you don't quite understand it, and just let it go.
Yeah.
I'm always one to go, okay, let me just, because I don't speak Spanish, help me out here so I can completely understand your reference. And that's another way to get closer to people, is you showing your vulnerability, saying, I don't know everything. I'm trying to help you. And if the best way I can help you is to really understand you, and I don't. So help me out here. And so then you get in a deeper conversation about that.
Yeah, I find it interesting when I'm talking to even English-speaking people from different countries, like the UK people. They have a whole different way of. It's a whole other language. You know, we have bum bags here or whatever, and it means something completely different over there.
There's a great Steve Martin bit. It's like he's talking about the French. He's like, so rue means street.
Yeah.
Chapeau means hat. It's like those French have a different word for everything. One of the things I like to do is say, okay, I'm going to help train you up to where you need to be to feel good about it. But then I'm going to be on a call with you every 2 weeks or once a month to check in with you. And along the way, there are these certain sort of metrics that you want to hit, who you're reaching out to, the lunches you're having, the conference you're going to, the phone calls you're making. Are you making those?
Okay.
Or are you,
there's obviously a follow-up that goes with that, which is probably something that others who are teaching may not be doing the follow-up thing. So that sets you apart from others, right?
Exactly. It usually takes three months to 6 months to get really a cadence established where suddenly you feel like you're doing it in a natural way. Yeah. As opposed to like, oh, this is a one-off thing. I'm going to talk to Rudy. We're going to have an hour-long meeting. Then everything's going to be fine.
Yeah. It doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work that way.
What about products? I mean, it's a completely different ballgame in that respect for business development for products, right?
In essence, it is, but it's all human stuff. Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, there's no, the more humanity you pour into your business development, the better you're going to be at.
Well, I have to say, I'm really hugely impressed with you know, going out a month ago, starting out a new business under COVID. And I really wish you all the success in the world. Hopefully we can get this out to some people who can reach out. We'll put your contact particulars in there. And so we're going to do a cheers.
Most fun I've had all day.
There you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, Heather. For joining us. This is Heather Boyd. I just wanted to say we're not providing legal advice here. We're just talking IP, talking business development. And thank you, Rudy, for being a great guest.
Thanks for having me.